Hugo.
Hey, everyone. It's the ladies of the experience here with you Sunday evening. How's everyone doing?
Lovely.
Yay. So I have with us Dr. Royal, she's right here. Dr. Royal Rain. How are you today, my dear?
I do lovely. I'm great. I really am. Seriously.
Awesome. And then I have the pleasure plug.
Hey, it's been a wonderful Sunday thus far.
Ooh, wonderful Sunday. Yes. And then we have Miscommunication.
Other way.
Well, for me, you right here. So I'll do this way.
Yeah.
You gotta...
Hey, everybody, what's going on? How y'all doing?
Hilarious. So it is the last Sunday of Black History Month. And I see we were mentally synced to wear black.
Yes.
Because black is beautiful.
Yes. Yes.
We are Black History, ladies. So confining that to a month is just, unheard of, right? So anything new for you guys this week? Or I guess this is a new week. So how did last week? Anything new and exciting happen last week?
No, it just went by really fast.
It sure did. It sure did.
Well, yeah, it was busy though.
Was it?
I mean, the 9 to 5 and the 5 to 9.
Yeah.
It was a little busy. Yeah.
Look at hustle all around the clock.
Yeah, out here the kids were on vacation, so the best part of it was a commute. So I was getting to work in 20 minutes. I was like,
Oh, wow.
Sliding through like,
yep, this will work. This will
Yes.
work. But them whippersnappers will be out on the road tomorrow. So
I'm so sorry to hear. Look, I'm so sorry to hear that. Well, I'm a plug Pisces season. It's Pisces season.
Hey.
We saved the best for last, and then March is coming. I'm excited. But yeah. Well, today we're going to talk about something that many of us ask about, look for. The topic came up from one of our guests who asked the ladies, loyalty or love. And so we wanted to really examine what loyalty is to begin with. So that being the case, I'm going to start off with you, Pleasure Plug. What is loyalty to you?
So to me,
deep breath, honey.
I know y'all, okay. So me, I'm loyal. Okay, that's how I feel. But I think what it takes is having a deeper connection than just I got your back. Like, do you like in times? Can I call you when I got a flat tire? Can I call you when I'm bleeding and I need somebody to take me to the hospital? Like, you know what I mean? Those type, like the people you can count on. And, I can count on these two hands how many people, and this including family members. Okay, some of them don't, but I can count on these fingers how many people I actually have that, like your emergency contacts. Those are the type of people like you are gonna ride for you. So to me, it's like, I know you got me. There's no ifs, ands, buts. I don't care what happened, who happened, where it happened, and that's relationship in terms of like an intimate relationship or, with a partner, lover, or friendships, you know what I mean? And family to me. So there's layers to this, but I digress.
Well, what about you, Royal? What's loyalty to you?
No, because So
you just said she breathed deeply too.
Yeah.
Wow.
So loyalty to me is, and I'm kind of piggybacking off of what Madam Pleasure Plug said. So it goes beyond just the ride or die. For me, loyalty also entails being straight up with me. And what I mean by that is if some ish ain't right, just tell me it ain't right. So with that being said, I guess the operative word when it comes to loyalty for me is respect and transparency.
Okay. Communication.
Yeah.
Okay. So loyalty, I feel as though is one of the most important qualities in any relationship. Like, if I can't, it's more. I mean, it's like something to do with dependability and accountability and all those things there. But I feel as though, I mean, I'm a Taurus. I mean, I don't know how many people, people. I'm not. Listen, my loyalty is so stubborn and ridiculous sometimes when it needs, like, I need to let go, but I'm loyal to that type of situation. And it's, you don't always get it back, but that doesn't negate my loyalty. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's not conditional, because, like, you can be loyal to your family, even though you don't deserve it. But then again, I also have a different definition of family, because I feel as though there's a difference between relatives and family. Because family is the ones, I feel as though, is the ones you make, and relatives are the ones that are related to you by blood. And I think it's a completely different situation, But when it comes down to loyalty, that is like one of my top tenets in life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Without that, I don't know. I can't tell you really who I am.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, for me, loyalty is a way of life. I build my morals on that. I build my beliefs on that. But I had to learn not to be a prisoner of my loyalty, which I've experienced as well. No one has to tell you to be loyal. I think for me, loyalty is like, no matter what's going on, even if it looks bad, you kind of pause and go, well, I know this person, or I know, or, my word is my bond, old school. My word is my bond, that type of thing. So can I say that I see lots of loyalty in the world? I don't, because loyalty also takes trust. And trusting that person or that thing. So to answer our viewers' question before we move on to other things, loyalty versus love, I want to say loyalty, because there's a lot of people who love people and they're not loyal. And so it disintegrates really quick. I know people who are married and it's like, this is the love of my life. And the minute that person messes up, they're thinking about going back to an ex, sleeping with someone else. That I don't want that kind of love. I want loyalty, where you're loyal to the fight for our love. Does that make sense? Cool. But I also don't want to be a prisoner to loyalty, which I have as well. So that being the case, I always got something to show you, ladies. So we have a clip. We actually have two, but we have a clip. We don't own the rights to this clip, but it's just, it's good. It's good stuff. So let me start off with this one.
Can't we just leave the first time a person show you who they are? We wait until people drag us to the pit cell and show us after the 100th time. Like, we wait until we can't take no more. I don't have to wait until it's not working for me. If I feel it in my soul that you can't be what I need you to be, and you might be it for somebody else. So I realized that the more that I was begging somebody else to change for me, if I would have changed myself, they wouldn't have been my type. But to sit there trying to get somebody that's just not compatible with me to be something that they can never be, child, I wasted my own time.
Got one more, guys. Got one more. Just process. We process.
Well, look, can we dissect that one first?
Go ahead, girl.
Because you said something a moment ago, and I gotta go a different direction than you on this one. Come on. Because you made the comment that about loyalty and love, and one having nothing to do with the other. I beg to differ.
I think maybe not has nothing to do. I'm just saying one can't exist with, or cannot properly exist without the other. It's probably better.
Yeah. Because and let me, for clarification, if in a friendship, okay, I'm gonna follow Pleasure Plug on this one. Friendships, right?
Yes.
If we're friends, then I think that there should be some level of loyalty, but in that level of loyalty is love.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? It's that filial love, that brotherly love, or in this case, sisterly love. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. But if you're in a committed relationship, those two bad boys are truly, in my opinion, are truly married. If
They
I
should
am,
be. That's
yeah,
the thing. They
You
you
definitely
understand
should
what
be.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
If we're in a committed relationship and you say to me that you love me, even though you're not saying that you're loyal to me, in the back of my mind, and maybe that's an assumption I should not be carrying, but in the back of my mind, if you say that you love me, you're also telling me that you're being and you plan to be loyal to me. And that loyalty looks like us being committed to one another, come hell or high water.
I agree, but I don't think that that is the package that love comes in. I think
Well, that's some suck ass shit. Go ahead.
Okay.
No,
wait
it's
a
true.
minute, but you're right. It's not loyal.
Facts.
True love comes with
Yo.
loyalty.
It's not-
Absolutely.
and-
True love comes with loyalty.
I'm
Go
gonna be
ahead.
real with you. There are people who are not even loyal to themselves. They're not loyal to their dreams. So how can they be loyal to me? But those are the same people. Just like you have people who say, I'm in love with you, but you don't even love yourself. So how you giving me something that you are deficient in yourself?
But you know what's even crazier? Because I was sitting there as you saying it, I'm like, okay, here's the thing. I can love somebody and they have definitely depleted my loyalty. I can love you and decide that I no longer am interested in being loyal to you anymore.
But then
Because
that's
of what you have
to be
done,
loyal
because
to
of
yourself.
right
That's
now
when you
right. So it's like that thing too. It's like at the end of the day, listen, there's people out there. There's people out there that I love. I don't necessarily like them. But I love them, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't want nothing bad, I don't want nothing bad to happen to them. I don't want them to get shot or get run over by a car. But the same token, I've actually been put into positions where their loyalty has been tested. And it's like either it's them or either it's another person or me, and they choose the other person. And
absolutely.
that's with people say, oh, as long as I know, listen, I've known people from the time they were born. You know what I'm saying? I've known people from the time they were born, and they still choose to be loyal to someone else who in turn showed them their ass. Now, don't understand. You can't say, well, no, I have nothing. Your actions spoke so much louder than anything you could say to me right now. And you can't negate that now. You can't come back from that. Because I will not put myself in that position again. Now, again, like I said, don't get me wrong. I still love you. I don't want you to die. But you could kick rocks right now.
Yeah, I just think that sometimes, and I'm only going to speak from a woman's perspective. I'm not saying men don't do it, but semantically correct. From my experience, I think sometimes our loyalty is attached to what we want. So I am so loyal to the belief of what this should be that I'm hurting myself. I'm hurting myself.
Like she was saying in her spoken word, right?
Yeah, I think we do that in friendships too.
100%.
Because we go, well, I was there for this person and blah, blah, blah. And they should, and they should, and they should. Well, fact of the matter is a taker is always going to take and a giver is always going to give. That does not mean that that's loyalty. That doesn't mean that that's loyalty. You know what I mean? So
it's a transactional. It's the part that people feel as though it should be transactional, right?
Well, there are two types of loyalty.
There are two types of loyalty. That is
there's transactional loyalty.
I did the studying too, girl.
And there's emotional.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we mislabel them quite
100% all the time. But you got to understand, some people's literal loyalty is tied to what you can do for them.
Absolutely.
So once you are no longer useful to them, now their loyalty has run out. You know what I mean? And it's like that part is the part that hurts.
And it runs out quick too.
Yeah, but that's the part. But see, that's the thing is sometimes you gotta let people do them, watch them, see how they do things. And sometimes you gotta watch how they treat other people. That part, watch how somebody else treats somebody else who they claim to love and be loyal to, and see what they're doing. Because at the end of the day, that will definitely give you some insight. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to be right every time, because different things, different situations might call for different types of loyalty, right? Like if my girlfriend calls me and says she needs a kidney, There's a different kind. Don't
that's
think that I'm not gonna be. Don't think that I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Because I decided that maybe not a kidney might not be what I'm gonna do for you. I mean, we could do some trying to find somebody with a kidney, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, but that's the thing. It's like that doesn't mean that I'm not loyal. It just means that in that situation, you know,
I think you got to figure out what that person's definition of loyalty is too. So some hard truths that I've experienced in my adulthood is that some people think that loyalty means I'm a yes man or woman. I don't always have to agree with you to be loyal to you, right? I just feel, again, I have to be a person of my word. I think what we don't realize is loyalty builds trust. Loyalty builds allegiance. That doesn't mean that loyalty builds a blind follower, right? Sometimes the person who could be like, you know what, this ain't right. This doesn't make sense. No, you're wrong, is more loyal to you than the person who says yes every time.
Correct.
And I think we forget that, you know. Do I consider myself a loyal person? Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think I can be who I am without loyalty. However, I could do better with selecting the loyalty I give, who I give that loyalty to.
Well, you know what I find funny though? I also find funny that I think that most people, if asked, are they loyal, they'll tell you they are.
No, but they're not.
Whether they are, no, whether they are or not. No, I'm saying whether they are or not. Like a cat, a cat calling himself a dog, even though they're not, is what it is. But at the end of the day, people literally will. If you ask somebody, do you consider yourself to be somebody who's loyal? No one's gonna say, "Nah, man, I'm a turncoat."
Well, some people say I'm a loner, right? That's what it is, right? A loner. Some people
loner, but I mean, like no, but most people will say that they are loyal based on just being, you know, it's just something to say. It's a good, because see, loyalty is a good thing, right? That's a person who has a good vibration, a person who's loyal, right? That's what you look for in a mate, in a friend, in a whatever. You look for people who are going to be loyal.
Do we look or should we look?
I mean, listen, I usually give everybody a 10 until you start off with a 10 with me. You don't start off with a 0 and work your way up. You start off with a 10. And as you mess up, that's when you get down to that point where I'm not messing with you.
Right.
Right? You know, some people start off with a 0 and you got to work your way up. Nah, you start with 100. And as you go by, you show me your ass. That's when you start going down in your ranking. I mean, that's, you know.
What do you think about loyalty, Pleasure Plug? I know you are building lots of relationships in your field. Do you feel that loyalty is a natural thing that we give another person?
No. I mean, it's natural when it comes natural in terms of what Miscommunication was saying, you know, if you got a vibe with somebody and okay, well, this can be, you know, a thing. Let's team up. Let's do this thing. Or you can have, like, one thing I haven't heard is I've had a conversation or I've let somebody know the expectations of what levels of loyalty I wanted from them. Like, that's what I haven't heard about. So, but I have heard, oh, well, I expect this, or they should expect that, but how do you know?
Right.
If we're not talking about it, like, have the conversation. Like, hey, okay, so if it was your romantic partner, hey, I just, you know, I'm feeling, you know, like we're not as devoted as we need to be toward each other, blah, blah, whatever. For the family, hey, same conversation, just different vibe, right? For friends, same conversation, different vibe. So just essentially what it comes down to is everyone understanding what their part is in not necessarily playing a role, but what looks like loyalty to you as my friend, as my lover, as my business partner. What does loyalty look like for you? And that's different for each and every one of my team members. It looks different for them. I have to communicate with some of them a different way. I have to talk to some of them more often, some of them less because of what they got going on in their lives, but just constantly checking in and doing, you know, different things. So you adjust, like, I think one of the comments was saying, like, adjust, you know, that relationship and move on, like moving forward that way. So
this one.
Yeah, but not the first part. Not the first part, but like just moving on. But you know, and that's okay too, right? No judgment, guests. Thanks for being here. But no, it's just, you know, that wouldn't be how I would go about it.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna say this, and then we'll look at one more clip. I think for me, when things happen and actions happen, and I step in and I say, "I'm here for you," that's usually, and it may be too late now that I'm hearing what you're saying. That's usually when I'm like, "I'm here, I got you."
Mhm.
Right? When I say I got your back, you never have to look behind you. I'm there. Right?
Mhm.
That I do a lot of that reinforce, like, here's an action, this is why the action, because of this, here's the action, this is why the action, but I never thought of it, honestly, pleasure plug, of hey, these are my expectations, BBB. I usually wait for a situation like, oh my gosh, my car broke down, I hate to.
But right, and that's how all of us think of it. Like, it's more of a reactive type situation.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to necessarily be, hey, I'm gonna list out the things I'm expecting from you as my friend, like like a friend contract, like Sheldon did. It don't have to
Sign
be
right here.
it don't have to be like that, but just in terms of, look, you know what I'm saying, sis, this happened, this, that, and the other, or bruh, you know what I mean? Look, come on now.
I say stuff like that too, bro.
Yeah, so it's just like, approach them how you would, but just have the conversation. Like, they love you, they trust you, you trust them. So it's not like, don't be afraid to have the conversation.
Mhm.
I just never.
You
I
know,
just didn't think like you need shit. Anyway, let's look at this other clip. I'm sorry.
You know what the sad truth is about a good woman that's been hurt too many times? Is that she's lost herself long enough before she actually found the courage to walk away from the shit she didn't deserve. The only reason she stuck it through for so long is not because she didn't know her worth, but it was because her loyalty is also tied to her worth. So if she walks away from shit just because shit got hard, then what does that make her? At least now when she finally walks away, she can say, you know what? She gave it her all. And sure, she gave it to somebody who didn't deserve it, but at least she did her part. She did the best she could. And a lot of times, that's why it takes her so long to walk away.
I felt that in my soul.
Mhm.
I really
Mhm.
did. Yeah.
So, okay. So transparency. Just watching that video made me think about my previous, absolutely. Hey, Ty. Made me think about my previous marriage, which was very toxic and very abusive. It didn't start out that way, but then when it got that way, I was determined to make the relationship work. And reflecting back, which I've done a lot of reflecting, but reflecting back, I was like, you know what, girl, your whole life would have been so different if you would have just let that shit go. And that's what the viewer was speaking to from moments ago. Like, it was clear. My girlfriends, when I was in college, they was like, Tamara, like, why? Why are you, why? Because it was really bad. So, but I stuck with it, and like the gentleman said, it was coming from a background, and Pearl, I think this is where you and I are very similar. Coming from a background where, when you're in a relationship, or more specifically, when you're in a marriage, you are in it to win it.
Yeah.
And you ride it until it can't be rode no more. Like, literally,
Wheels fall off.
wheels fall off. Right. And so, and so when I did end up marrying him, which again, neither here nor there. Hindsight is 2020, right? But I stayed with it, thinking that, and this kind of goes into what the young lady, the spoken word young lady said. I was in it thinking that I could, at some point, help him be a better version of himself. And so when that wasn't happening, I began to lose myself. And I do mean truly, like mentally and emotionally, I began to lose myself and began to see myself as lesser than who I truly know who I am.
Facts. Oh
You understand what I'm saying? And so it took a long time of me sabotaging other relationships. It took a long time for me to stop throwing out the coochie, in order to, because I was really good at that. I was. I'm being honest.
Loyal to the throw. That's what you were loyal to,
right? Because hey, I just knew what my talents were, and so for a while, like that was my go-to until I hit a place emotionally and mentally where I was not well at all, and I had to go through therapy and years of therapy, and I began to see things in a clear perspective and clearer light, and I'm like, damn, sis, you all fucked up. Like, what is wrong?
But you know what's crazy though? Because I feel as though a lot of us, what we do is that we blame ourselves for the things that other people do to us, right? And it's not so much that it's like we say, oh, well, I allowed them to do that, right?
Right.
There's a thing about, we always have this thing with all these things that we talk about, loyalty, love, trust, all these things. There's also a thing called hope, right? So you hope a person is going to get better. You hope that what you're doing is going to be received and it's going to change. You hope. And all these things are all tied together, right? Because you always say, okay, so because I love him and I am loyal to him, I'm going to trust and hope that he will change, right? So it's like all those things are all on top of each other, right? Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's like, sis, if he wasn't good for you, like the girl, like the young lady said, the fact is, if you change yourself, then you would know that almost like, you know what? He's not even right for me. He's not even where I want to be.
That's not the mind frame. You know, the mind frame is
mind frame never goes there.
No, the mind frame is I would never do that to him or her.
Right.
And so you hold on to that, almost believing you're going to see, I would never do that to you. I'm going to stay here long enough because, like he said, her self-worth is attached to her loyalty because you're like, I'm a good thing. I'm giving you a good thing. So I'm going to stick it out because maybe you just can't see that right now.
But see, the thing about it,
realize that. And in actuality, that's where we mess up.
Because always.
We let go of the loyalty
to ourselves. Yes, to thy own self be true, right? That's an actual thing. To thy own self be true. So in other words, when you sit there and you think about the idea that I'm waiting for you to figure out that I'm the catch, I'm the person you need to be with, I'm the person. So it's like, look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at all the things I'm doing for you. Look at everything that I'm doing for you. And it's like, at the end of the day, bullshit is bullshit.
Absolutely.
Once you listen, like they say, you literally stay in shit long enough, you won't smell it anymore. Yeah. That's the thing. And it's like, in the actuality, it's like when you begging somebody to act right and they won't, that's your answer right there. That is literally your answer. Your answer is no. I will not act right. I cannot act right. I don't know how to act right. I'm sorry. You might be the most wonderful thing. You might literally have diamonds in your cooch. The point of the matter is, I'm not going to do what it is that you want me to do. And if you continue to be loyal to me, just know that your loyalty is going to be wasted. That's the part.
Well, when you're sacrificing your loyalty to yourself, there's no point in loyalty. No. If you have to subtract you to add someone else, then that exchange is not reciprocity
at all. And it's
turned into a transactional situation. But it goes back to, and I'm being real because, Royal, I can understand you. It's literally like, I want to choose this every day. I don't want to abandon ship, but it really gets to the point, and at least I can speak for myself, where I've been loyal to people and I'm like, yo, like literally, I'm going to give you all of it. Yo, is that what's happening? Because I would never do that to you.
Right.
Like, do you remember who I am?
No.
It's Pearl here. Pearl, you go through that. But the problem is, the other side of me is like, hey, Pearl, we stopped being our own girl. Who cares if that person could see or not? Right? Your loyalty is not wasted. It is misdirected.
Correct.
I think it's that moment of, I wouldn't do it to you, but you too comfortable doing it to me.
Too
It's
comfortable.
the part where you have to go, let me redirect this loyalty. But that's hard because, see, unlike Royal, who was like, yo, I was throwing it, I cocoon right away. I'm like, oh, no, can't trust. Cocoon. Let me work on something else. Then I become loyal to building me, rebuilding me. And that's me. Like, I'm literally like, let me be loyal to building me. You can't take this new skill. You can't take this new mindset, this new language, this new education, this new degree. It's just as bad as throwing it because I'm not dealing with
The
the
actual
situation. Yeah, the actual situation.
Right.
So
But not every situation needs to be dealt with, though. That's another thing. Sometimes you literally have to say to yourself, you know what? I'm not even gonna give you. I'm gonna let this go, and I'm gonna move on, right? And the moving on is the hardest part, right? So moving on is always the hardest part because it's like you're always gonna be thinking about the what if and had I, and if I had stuck on a little bit longer. And first, listen. There's something that God gives us. He literally gives it to us, or she gives it to us, or whatever you want to go with it. Gives it to us and says, "There's that sixth sense in your soul that lets you know, it's time to go. You gotta pick up, pick up your shit, put it on your back, and let's go. Let's break out." And it's like sometimes it's as simple as, I've seen relationships in there, like literally, I remember very vividly when someone decided that she was no longer going to be with her husband anymore. I was young, and I remember she said, "Okay," my babysitter. She said, "Okay, kids, it's a game we're gonna play. Put everything in the van," and we just started putting stuff in the van. Now that I'm an adult, I realized she was leaving him. She was leaving him, but it was like, what? There was something. It's always something. There's always one thing, and it might not be something that's very large. It could be something as simple as he put the freaking milk back in the freaking refrigerator with no milk. It could be something so simple. Now, mind you, it could have been everything could have happened. All this crap could have been happening. Physical, emotional, all kinds of things could have been happening. But it's that one thing, the straw that breaks the camel's back. And you got to know when that straw hits and you're ready to go. And again, it's not just in a relationship. It could be in friendship, homegirls. Listen, I think Pleasure Plug said it a couple of weeks ago. A dot. My circle is a dot. Okay. I don't need, back in the day when I used to have a lot of friends and a lot of people around me and all these other things here, I don't have that anymore because I don't need it. And technically I don't want it. I don't call, there's only a couple people I call on my phone. Everybody else, it's just noise in the background, right? Yeah. But it's all about that thing, about that whole loyalty thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I've known Pearl for a long
time. Don't tell our age, girl. Oh wow,
a long time. And I mean, and that's the thing. I've always prided myself on being that chick that when something jumps off, she don't. What happened? Who did it? Where we going?
That reciprocity. We have that.
Listen,
right?
That where we trying to go? Where's the Vaseline at? Let me tie this hair down. But that's the thing. It's like I'm the person that when punks jump up to get beat down, let's go. That's me.
You went and told your age anyway.
I don't care. Okay. Whatever. But that's me all day. But at the same token, I have to give that same energy to myself now, right?
Yeah. But I don't think we live in a time where that is okay. I feel like, from my experience, the reason why loyalty is so scarce is because we're, again, giving up what could be for what is right now, right? Yeah. So that sticking through, that knows, hey, it's a bad day. We're going to go a couple of months without talking to each other, but I'm still here. I think people go, what? Oh, it's Friday. You haven't talked to me since Tuesday. I don't need to mess with you no
temporary,
more.
But it's like a temporary thing, right?
Yeah. So
it's time we're living in right now.
Something for me, and it's gonna sound small, but I'm just being real with you. So I went through a stage with a friend, and I'm like, okay, this person is distant, whatever. Life happens. Don't take it personal. And I had lent I wouldn't even say lent, gave this person money. When I gave it, I was like, I don't want it back. I cannot be this person in your corner watching you struggle, and I can help. this person came out of nowhere. I was like, yo, I got your money. I'm giving it back. I was like, oh no. Mm-mm. That to me showed you don't even know who I am. You don't. I'm so sorry. You don't even know who I am.
I'm not gonna turn down money, y'all. I'm sorry.
It's not. I didn't even say that. Oh, I still didn't get the money. That's not the point.
Oh, okay.
The point is, you have turned our friendship into a transactional situation.
Mhm.
I've already said, here you go. I don't want this back. I am there for you. I have not bought it up. Years have passed, and the result of your distance is telling me about money that I owe you. You have turned what we had into transactional. That's how my loyalty goes. Like, you're telling me that your loyalty is transactional. That's how I feel.
They owed you the money. They were trying to give it back to you.
They owed me the money, and
Right.
and I'm talking about the distance, and you talk about giving me money back.
Oh, okay.
So you're
maybe they
telling
felt.
me
Maybe the person felt. I'm good playing devil's advocate. I'm just playing devil's
it's
advocate.
been 2 years. We're not playing them games. No, no, sir. No, ma'am.
Oh, okay. I don't know, because I was like, in my head, I'm like, oh, you give me back my money? Nice, thanks. You know.
For me, you turned what we had into a transactional situation. Period.
Mm.
You're still distant, so why are you talking about the money?
Mm.
And to your point, I was writing notes as y'all were talking, so I wouldn't forget these pieces because it was good. So one thing that has been spoken of is, and I appreciate, is just understanding that there are levels or different types of love. There are different types of loyalty, and how they mesh and intertwine in our day-to-day relationships with people that we encounter, or that we deal with in varying levels, right? From professional to more intimate.
Mhm.
But the other thing I wanted to share is for me, loyalty, not now, then loyalty became a point of survival. And I say that because even for our older population, we look at older women and grandmothers, aunties that are older, and they've been with this man for umpteen years, right? But then when you sit around, as we're being older women now, we're sitting around the table, kicking it, and we start hearing stories about how Mr. Johnny, would do this, or Mr. Joe was doing that, and that woman never left his side in spite of all of that stuff that was going on, whatever that stuff looked like, right? And it made me reflect and think about, as y'all were talking, loyalty for some women and even some men, okay? It is about survival. It's and survival from the standpoint of, it could be financial survival, 'cause back in that day, the woman was the nurturer and the homemaker, right? Where roles have kind of transformed since that time as far as women are concerned, right? But then even for men, it's a point of survival, because when that man truly loves that woman, and that woman does whatever she does, and he has to pull back, I don't know if as women, if we really understand the level of hurt that a man goes through. And I'm sure that that viewer that keeps commenting, he's a brother, so I need you to follow along with me. So, right. So what I'm saying is, for that man, when he has to pull back and take that leave of absence from this relationship that he's been in, we as women don't understand the level of hurt that men go through when they have to pull, because it's completely different from us.
Yeah.
And I know I don't have a man up here right now to kind of chime in and elaborate on that, but women, we're so much absolute. Yes, agree. So like for men, they when they fall, if they truly fall, they all in, right?
Yep.
Truly all in.
All in.
Right. Women.
Wait, but does that mean they're faithful? Because
Yes.
some of them get
No. I ain't talking. I'm talking about
okay,
the ones
okay.
that are truly all in, and the ones that are faithful. The good. I'm gonna say the good ones. If they are all in, and you turn around and you do some messed up stuff, you have no idea what you have just done to that man, because you have truly broken him.
Destroyed him. Destroyed him.
Absolutely.
I feel like
Destroyed.
sometimes
And it's so different for them than for women. I'm just
So you
throwing it out
mean
there.
someone who chooses to be loyal to a woman, like, we're gonna make this work, we're gonna build, not the men who are loyal to the high or the
Yeah.
or the sex. Okay. I'm just
The man that's loving like we loving, okay?
Mhm.
To put it in proper context, the man that's loving like we loving. When that situation happens, it does. I like your word, miscommunication. It does. It completely destroys him.
Got it. I think I always say when I say when a man is hurt, the pain is different.
It's so
It's
different.
like it's different. It's like I don't like I've seen grown men cry, and when a grown man cries, like when he's in like literal emotional pain, it is so horrible. But it does not lessen my tears. Understand that. That's another thing. It's like we women have a tendency to get hurt, bounce back, right, and go on, right. And it's like that's the thing. We do that. We do that all the time. It's like a thing. It's like, oh, we get knocked down, we get back up, right? Because we still got to keep on. We still got to keep going.
Yeah.
Men are not necessarily like that. You know what I'm saying? Men are not built like they're not built like us. Honestly, they're not built like us.
Can I pause you guys for a minute? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm with
Go
you.
ahead.
I definitely wanted to acknowledge this might be risky. Thank you for the super chat. We just got so into the conversation, but I wanted to pause to shout you out. So thank you so much for joining us. Keep the comments coming.
Yes. Thank you.
So here's the thing with loyalty as well. It could be also the opposite. You could be so loyal to yourself that I'm just
no, come on. I'm ready. Come on.
You said that people are in relationships for survival. So there's a lot of people using the L word with no L word. So they're loving with no loyalty. They loyal to what is going to work for them. I got a place to live. I got extra money. You know what I mean? I got someone. It's out there.
My car to drive her car.
And usually using Royals thing, they the one that throw it the best. I'm just saying, right? But here's the problem. They usually find that person that's looking for that, and now that person's loyal to them. And when they're done, that person is broken.
Absolutely.
It's the same thing. So it depends, like many things, what's going on. I just feel like most of the time, from my experience, people are like, there's no loyalty out there. And usually that person ain't loyal themselves either. What is your definition of loyalty? That has to be defined before you step out in the world.
Absolutely.
It has to be defined before you step in friendships, before you step into relationships. I mean, before you have children.
Hello, thank you.
From my experience that I see, there are men that are loyal to the relationship and can't be loyal to their child. They don't even know how to be a father once they're not in that relationship anymore, because they were loyal to that woman, but cannot find the two legs to stand on to be loyal to that child. I'm not getting any more from this woman. How can I Then, like, it got to be a pet. The only reason I was a father is because I know I was going to get some nookie that night, or I knew it was going to keep the peace. I'm not loyal to that child. That child means nothing to me but some sperm that got away. And they may not see it like that in their mind, but there's a lot of men out there that are not present because being a father came with the woman.
Yep.
And once the woman was not in place anymore, neither was the fatherhood. And I'm gonna be real, you're not loyal to yourself, because I'm not creating anything from my body that I'm not gonna be loyal to.
And thus our topic, loyalty and love. Hot dang, girl, you
just like that. I'm just being.
Yes, that was some shots fired.
Yes.
Wait, was there bullets in the chamber?
No, that was
That
was shots fired. That was shots fired.
I wasn't aiming for anyone. I'm just saying it's the reality. I've seen that.
You're right.
I've, without naming a specific relative, I've seen that with a cousin. Like, I love her, I love her. Well, you just gave this woman 3 kids and you don't come see their kid ever. Why? Because you cannot see your fatherhood without her. So you're not even loyal to your children. You're not.
Yeah.
You're not loyal to your children. You're not.
Right.
And it's sad because technically you made a commitment when you decided to have that kid.
But is loyalty a non because okay, so take it for instance, I'm not playing devil's advocate.
No,
I agree with everything you just said. I agree. Trust me, I agree. No. Yes.
That had
Lord. But what I'm saying is that what happens when the loyalty that you are expected to give is something that you just don't have? And it's like some people just don't have the ability to be loyal. They just don't have it. They just don't know how to do it.
You just say that. You just say that instead of like ghosting somebody,
Right.
not talking to them no more, or just ignoring them, or just letting it fall by the wayside. Have the conversation. We don't have enough difficult conversations, right? We talk about every damn thing else, but we don't want to talk about the things that matter to us.
And it's true. And the thing about it is that I think that people are really talking is not a thing. We do that. Like a lot of we women, we do that. We talk about stuff. It's like we want to talk it out. We want to find out. We want to, piece of things. But when it comes to the opposite sex, and it's funny because it's like I always say, like the way men and women do things are so polar opposite. And it's like the fact that we're supposed, like it's that yin and yang situation or whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to say it. But a lot of people don't like to discuss the hard stuff, right? It's not fun to discuss the hard stuff. It's emotionally taxing.
But it's necessary.
100%. Listen, I'm a talker. When I decide,
no wonder miscommunication.
When I decide on here's the problem. Here's what I always say. If I am no longer able to talk about it, that means I'm done. When I stop,
but if you don't trust that person to talk about it, you shouldn't even be having them.
Listen, that's in general. Listen, one thing, my father and I have the same thing. When I'm quiet, that's when I'm deadly.
Ooh, me too.
If I'm still talking to you and I'm still yelling and I'm still fighting and I'm still if I'm giving you a fight because I want it so bad and I still
not a toxic fight.
No, I'm not talking about like I'm not talking about that, but I'm saying what I mean is I'm still in the trenches with you. I'm still trying to get this right. I'm still trying to make this work, whether it be a friendship or whether it be a lover or whatever you want to say. But when I stop,
yeah, I agree. I agree.
That means I'm done because I feel as though I have done everything that I possibly can do. And if you're not,
it may be time for you, the other person on the side, for you to start talking because I'm done.
Say something.
Yeah. Well, let me address this from this might be risky. I'm assuming it's a he, so I apologize. Why do women keep giving those men access to sex? And it's 20% of Black men making those kids. So let me address.
Go for it.
Let me address. One, we romanticize.
There it is.
Our situation with sex. This is why I said, especially in 2023, we are not matching energy.
Nope.
I'm not matching, and that's what we do. Oh, if I give him the sex, I get what I want. Yeah, you get what you want for that nut. Let's be real. But that doesn't mean you're getting long term. I think we always think we minimize men to their penis and then get mad when they give us just that.
Well, some of us just want that though.
No,
come on. Some women want that. Some women.
If that's all you wanted, we would not go to court for child support. You got that. Don't worry about the rest.
Wait, let me come back.
I've been in a situation where that's all I wanted. He understood.
Yeah,
that
but he said having kids.
Oh, having kids.
If that's all you want,
but I ain't got no kids.
Then when you get pregnant, you need to be like, well, this was the side effect of all I wanted, and that is not what happens. What we do is we say this is all. In most cases, not
some
in all.
cases. Some.
This is all I want. This is all I want. Then we go, oh, wait a minute. I'm feeling more. This is all I want. This is okay. Well, when it switches, you need to have another conversation, but we don't.
That's true. And I
don't.
But it didn't.
We are not made like men. We need to stop doing that. We are not made like men. Our box taps in a different place that men's don't always tap on. And we need to have that conversation, because half the time when a woman goes, all I want is sex, is because you want to emulate the love that you don't have. You want the touching and you're not just like, oh, and I'm done. Right. You emulating. And sometimes in that repeating what love is, even though we said we don't want love, we catch feelings. And it's okay, because that's how we're built. But the problem is when we get there, we need to say something.
That's right.
Because most of the time,
fearful. Yeah, people are fearful of having that conversation because you're afraid that will not. I want more. I do not. Now is a different situation.
But so you know what happens? It turns into your daddy ain't shit. Because now you don't have more, and you have responsibility that does not keep you connected.
Right.
Yeah, well,
so you have to eat. If you don't trust that person enough to talk, you should not be booty in the air. That's just me. I'm just being honest. I'm not saying it because it sounds good. A sister has many times been like, damn, I want to, but either he's not ready, he's scarred, and I don't want to deal with that. So I'm gonna have to go, hey honey, it's gonna be, and talking to my box, it's gonna be me and you. It's just
and a rose or something, like he said, catch a rose.
Right. And the thing is, with
or a peach or something.
Right.
Thank you. All the fruits.
Right. And but that's just it. Like piggybacking off of what Pearl just said. Like that's the easy way. I don't know why we often, and I say we, speaking of women, we often complicate things. Things do not have to be as freaking complicated as we sometimes make it. Just stop the nonsense. If you know what you want, and if all you want is sex, I agree with you, viewer. Get you a rose, get you a rabbit, get you a dolphin, get you whatever, a damn peach pearl. I don't give a damn what you get. Get whatever you need to get. And you take care of yourself. You look over to the left, like Tweet, and you touch yourself. Do whatever you got to do, but leave people alone.
But and stop. We're loyal. Yourself. We're loyal to a manipulation tactic.
There it is.
We know that there's power in that, but the problem is it weakens us because we're not being true to ourselves.
See, here's the funny thing, because as much as y'all are saying that, and that sounds great and everything like that, that's nice. That's all so cute and everything. Hey, I'm trying to be team,
independent woman.
Right, whatever. Let me tell you something. Sometimes there are actual transactional relationships.
Yes, ma'am.
Where that is all it is, and that's all, and we have mutual respect for each other in the case may be.
Cool.
We like each other and all the things there. Yeah. I don't think that I mean, this is another topic for another show, but I think that sometimes we try to say, okay, sex and all the things there, and we got to put it's not some of it could just be physical, chemical, touching, feeling, and that's it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, because I need y'all to I need our viewers.
But when it goes to something else, and has expectations outside, because the talk of this is all I want is fine, right? That's easy. We come in, this is all I want.
Yes,
but when because it does. Right. For some people, you need to have another one because this other person, and it's not always the man, sometimes it's the woman. When it does that and we don't talk about it, that's when it causes problems. Yes, 100%. That's when you have unwanted children. This is where you have she bip bip in the street. This is
people don't wear condoms anymore. Is that not a thing?
We were talking about that too.
Oh, okay. Because I'm sorry, listen. I'm gonna say again, at a certain age, this conversation that we're having is a grown woman conversation, right? It's very grown. This is grown. In your 20s, it's a completely different conversation that you have in your 30s and your 40s and your 50s and your 60s, whatever the case may be. Like we said, like Royal said, when we're talking to them older women and you sit them down, and they telling you that Mr. Otis was a piece of shit, and then you were like, wait, what happened here? And she had to stick around because she had 3 picnics in the house and she ain't had no job. That's that thing, right? And then, but see, the thing about it is that we finally got to a stage, I feel as though, I hope so, that once you get to a certain age and a stage and you learn and you know better, you do better, and therefore you don't allow people to play with your loyalty the way you did when you were younger.
Cool.
That's it. Like, it comes down to, like, this, at the end of the day, this conversation that we're having right now, I have, I work in a place, and I'm the old lady at the place now, right? So, because all the girls are young, like, we young, right? When you're 19 and you're 20 or 21, there's certain things that you allow because you think that it's okay. That's part of it, right? Or no one has told you better.
Right.
To know better is to do better.
Right.
Or at least to know better is to almost maybe sometimes do better, because sometimes
But that has nothing to do with age.
No, it doesn't. But
because
you know what?
We have a lot of young-minded 50-year-olds.
100%. But I think that it also has a lot to do with maturity and growth, right? So if you are a person who has seen people, like, has had this has happened to you, whether it happened to you in your 20s. Because let me tell you something, my shit that happened in my 20s with some of these heifers.
Right.
My homegirls and stuff like that. My God, like, if to think about that crap and to actually sit there and there was times when there were conversations had and they go run tell that, and it's like that you never said what you said though, right? You never said, all you said,
but that's
what you heard me
loyal
say.
to getting attention.
And that's
what's happening now.
But that don't happen now though. That's what I'm saying.
I mean in this time, because I think we had a comment where said these young girls be out. That's because they're loyal to attention.
Right.
Yes.
Where's my attention coming from? I'm going, and it's not just young girls. There are people who want that attention and they're loyal to that, right? But I am a firm believer, if you live for the cheers, you die by the booze, right? It's the truth, right? So you want that attention. When you don't have it, now you're doing some real dumb stuff to get it.
Rifling stuff to get it.
Okay, so you're loyal to that, right? This is why people are building a reality for themselves from something that's not reality, which is social media. That's not real. Right. But let's go back to what you said. If you're just trying to get some booty, and that's all you want to do is to give some booty, then be loyal to that. But when your expectations change, be loyal to wanting to know where you stand, which means have that conversation.
So how about we're just talking here, right? We're just saying, having a conversation here, right? Yeah. So let's just say you start off and you're like, you know what? All I want is A, B, and C, which is, some booty, A, B, and C.
A bit B of coming.
And C, and whatever, right? Just want these things. And then you go into it and you start feeling, because listen, I always say my pull-out game is strong as hell. If I start liking you, and
I hear a lot of people say that.
I'm like, wait a minute, I'm liking this person, and I don't know if this is where I want to go with it. I will go. No, and I'm not saying I will ghost, but I will be like, all right, so I'm gonna see you, and 3 months, 5 months, 7 months pass by, and I ain't here. I'm not talking to that person right now because I need to gather myself until I get back to where I was before. Now that's not me lying to myself. No, that's just how I deal with things. Let's stop making a face. This is what it is. I know.
What if that person is going there with you too, and then you ghost them?
Listen, here's the thing. If I feel as though we are traveling on the same path and it could work out, then absolutely, that's the thing. Yes. But if I feel as though I'm feeling feelings that feelings should not be feeling, I get off the boat or get off the plane or get off whatever, and I go sit down somewhere until those feelings have subsided. And then maybe we can, figure this out again until you get there. That's just who I am.
She means pull out from the situation.
Yes, my pull-out game. That's what I said.
Pull out from the situation, not pull out that a gentleman does.
Pull out from the situation. I'm like, all right, I'm dipping. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, but I know that conversation, trust me, I'm grown enough to have, I'm grown enough to have that conversation because I've had the conversation many times before. But that's that's the tools that I use. Everybody has different tools in their toolbox. That's one of my tools in my toolbox.
And I'm not saying the conversation isn't scary. So let me go ahead and put that. It's scary because it's like, now I need to be vulnerable. We know the V word, vulnerability is not easy, right? You're like, okay, am I going to mess this up by bringing this up, by saying this, right? But I promise you, right? The latter, letting it grow, is a lot more difficult and painful. The latter is far worse, right? But yeah. So I see our time rolling up. It was a good conversation. So
we already there? Yeah. Yes. Okay.
If you had to say loyalty or love, and I'm starting with pleasure plug because you were real quiet today. but you had subtitles. Your face had subtitles.
Yeah, I mean, I had notes, but y'all was getting it. I ain't want to.
Oh no, go ahead.
Bring up your notes.
Yeah, what's your notes?
Okay, so as a self-love ambassador, I will just reiterate that everything that kind of I heard you guys saying went back to you, right? Like starting with yourself first. Meaning, like, if you looking for attention or whatever else or love from someone else, you're already starting off wrong. You need to make sure you're affirming that to yourself so you don't go looking for loyalty. You know what I'm saying? That's a thing that should happen naturally with people. So I'll say that. I'll also say do not expect you from other people.
I had to clap. Wait, let me get this there. Wait, hold on. Okay, go ahead.
No, because that was a lesson I learned, a hard lesson I learned. But I'm gonna just leave that there.
No, it's good.
A lot of people we're still putting our value, we're still tying our value into loyalty and integrity to another person.
Yeah.
And that's what I need to stop, right? Also, breaking trust and betraying love breeds psychos. And one more thing.
Hold on.
Can you elaborate on that?
She was quiet for the whole show, but now she's throwing out them gems like it's
because
you said now we cooking with grease.
Okay.
I was giving y'all was giving me all. I was
listen, we need you to pour the canola. Okay, I want you to elaborate on what you just said. Please, please elaborate on that.
Breaking trust.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
betraying love, right? It breeds psychos. And I'm speaking from personal experience because I've been on both sides. I've been a little crazy and I've experienced a little crazy, right? And there was always love and loyalty both involved. So I'm gonna just say that.
Yep. I concur. Continue.
Okay. Does that give you a little bit? Okay. So, but what I'm saying is, y'all seen you.
Yeah.
Y'all seen you. So he felt like, it was always love. It was always some kind of trust being broken. People are crazy. I'm just saying, be careful, loves. Be careful with yourself. And be careful with other people. But the last point I will make, I'm sorry. Yeah, did you have a question?
No, I said yeah.
Okay.
This is all you. We don't even need a final word. Go ahead.
Say all the things then.
No, because it was really good, and I was taking it all in. So I didn't mean to be quiet, but I was
Go ahead, girl.
The last thing is, as a sexual wellness coach, I must absolutely say and reiterate to everyone that vibrators do not replace your partners.
Thank you.
They do not. You can't get intimacy. Listen to the Raheem song. You can't.
Well, just like penis doesn't guarantee intimacy either. You got to figure it out.
Because I could just be humping you because I feel like humping. That ain't no intimacy either.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So fuck the rose. Like but
peach.
I'm just saying because that's been a recurring theme I've heard lately, and mostly from guys is that, oh no, we ain't gonna need you. No, baby, we still need you.
Absolutely. Do you know what it's like to have a good smelling man? Just
it's the body for me. Like we can bring the vibes into enhance
the chemistry.
But I need you.
Ain't no hands. No.
Make no mistake about that.
Wait a minute. Y'all gonna make me moist over here doing all this damn talking. Hurry up. Let me keep saying something.
I'm done. That was it.
No, you go ahead and finish, Sweet Pea. I'm just sorry. Y'all, we talking about smells and touches and stuff.
I'm just saying it's the package for me.
Yeah. No, seriously.
And 2 batteries, maybe 3, ain't gonna replace that. So
baby, because I know
USBs
rechargeable.
They have USBs now.
I'm sorry, look. I don't care what it is, unless it come with a hand, a smell, a man, and maybe
it's gotta be connected to, a body, a partner.
Yeah, but then that's a whole nother topic. That sex without intimacy sometimes isn't worth it. But anyway, moving on. So we thank you.
I don't know. Anyway,
so
all right. So we want to thank
Madam Pearl. Wait a minute. Pump that brake. Pull it up. We got the skirt. Hold on 1 second. Do we want to give them a teaser? Do we want to give our audience
coming up?
Yes, love. Do we want to give them?
You want to go ahead? Go ahead. Tell them.
I think we can.
Listen. Okay, let me put my bedroom voice on. Let me slide my hair back.
Suck it now.
I ain't got the right. Wait,
I'm gonna lean in.
Oh, she said I'm gonna lean in.
Audience, the ladies of the experience plan to give you an experience that you will never receive from any other podcast.
Look, I'm getting steamy too.
So,
I'm sorry.
we have prepared for you all a experience talking about what Madam Pleasure Plug just mentioned, understanding sexuality and all that it entails. And we're going to discuss it thoroughly in a series. So please feel free to join the lovely ladies because we got something for you, baby. That y'all gonna have to make sure y'all bring that water.
Hey,
Because we got something for you. So that's all I got. All right.
As we come out the bedroom wrapped up in our sheets. We want to thank you for joining us this evening. We enjoyed all the comments and the interactions, the super chats. We appreciate all of you guys. And let me share this just to share. And we look forward to interacting with you guys again. So from the ladies of the experience to all of you that make this experience great, thank you and have a wonderful evening. We'll see you guys again.